The dryer buzzer pierced the quiet hum of the laundromat like a gunshot, jolting me from my daze. I yanked open the door, steam billowing out, and there he was, Brian, the guy who'd been folding his shirts at the next machine, flashing a grin that hit me harder than the heat. "Need a hand?" he asked, his voice casual. But in that split second, as our fingers brushed over a tangled sheet, I knew my carefully guarded secret was about to unravel everything I'd built. My name is Jordan Hayes, 28, a mid-level accountant in downtown Chicago, living the kind of life that looks perfect on paper. Stable job, cozy apartment in Wrigleyville, weekly dinners with my conservative parents in the suburbs. But beneath it all, I'd been hiding from them, from friends, from myself. Being gay in a family where my dad still quoted Bible verses about traditional values, and my mom volunteered at the church's family preservation group wasn't just hard. It was a minefield. I dated women in college to keep up appearances, even got engaged once to a sweet girl named Sarah, but called it off when the panic attacks started. Now, single and closeted, I stuck to routines. Work, gym, laundry every Thursday night. That's where Brian came in. He was 26, a freelance graphic designer with a laugh that filled the room and eyes that seemed to see right through my facade. That first night, as we folded laundry side by side, conversation flowed like we'd known each other forever. He talked about growing up in a small town in Ohio, escaping to the city for art school, and how he loved the chaos of Chicago streets. I shared safe stories, my Cubs obsession, my hatred for winter commutes, careful not to reveal too much. But when he mentioned his ex-boyfriend casually, like it was no big deal, my heart stopped. "Wait, you're?" I stammered. He nodded, smirking. "Yeah, gay." "You?" I froze. Lie or truth? The laundromat was empty, just us and the whir of machines. "Me too," I whispered, the words tasting foreign. His smile widened, and for the first time in years I felt seen. We exchanged numbers, promised coffee. As I walked home, laundry bags slung over my shoulder, a thrill mixed with terror. What had I done? Admitting it to a stranger felt liberating. But what if it leaked? My family would disown me. Dad had said as much during a rant about the liberal agenda last Thanksgiving. The next week, coffee turned into dinners, walks along Lake Michigan, late-night texts. Brian was out and proud, marching in pride parades, with a circle of friends who lived openly. He pushed me gently. "Jordan, you can't hide forever. It's killing you inside." I resisted, citing my job's conservative clients, my parents' expectations. But each meeting chipped away at my walls. One evening, as we sat on a bench watching the sunset over the water, he took my hand. "This could be us for real," he said. My pulse raced, joy, fear, desire all tangled. I pulled away, mumbling about work early tomorrow. That night, alone in my apartment, I stared at the ceiling, weighing the cost. Coming out meant risking everything. Family rejection, social isolation, maybe even my career in a firm where the partners golfed with church elders. Weeks blurred into months. Brian became my secret world. We'd meet in hidden spots, quiet cafes in neighborhoods far from mine, his tiny studio apartment where we'd talk for hours about dreams, fears. He shared his own scars. A high school bullying that left him suicidal, a family that accepted him only after years of therapy. "It hurts, but living a lie hurts more," he'd say. I nodded, but inside, conflict raged. My brother, Mike, 32 and married with kids, was the golden child, straight, successful, everything Dad wanted. If I came out, I'd be the failure, the one who chose this path. Mom's calls grew probing. "When are you bringing a girl home, Jordy?" I'd deflect, guilt gnawing at me. Then came the turning point. Brian invited me to a friend's birthday party, a gathering of queer artists, loud and vibrant. I hesitated but went, heart pounding. For one night, I was free, laughing, dancing, holding his hand without shame. But as I left, A coworker from my firm spotted me on the street. "Jordan? That you?" Panic surged. The next day at work, whispers started. My boss pulled me aside. "Heard you were at some event. Just keep personal life personal. Okay?" The warning was clear. That evening, I confronted Brian. "This is too risky. We have to slow down." Hurt flashed in his eyes. "Or maybe you need to speed up and live your truth." We argued, voices rising, until he stormed out. Alone again, I realized the damage. I'd pushed away the one person who understood, all to protect a facade that was cracking anyway. The pressure built. Dad's 60th birthday loomed. A big family gathering at their house in Oak Park. I dreaded it, especially with Mike's perfect life on display. As I drove there, phone buzzing with Brian's unanswered texts, I made a decision. Maybe it was time to test the waters. During dinner, conversation turned to politics. Dad griped about gay marriage ruining society. My blood boiled. "Dad, what if one of us was gay?" I asked hypothetically. Silence fell. Mom laughed nervously. "Don't joke, Jordan." Mike shot me a look. "Yeah, bro, that's not us." I swallowed my words, the moment lost. But inside, resolve hardened. If I didn't act soon, I'd lose Brian and myself. Back in the city, the fallout from the party lingered. Whispers at work turned to sidelong glances, and my performance reviews hinted at distractions. I buried myself in spreadsheets, avoiding Brian's calls. But loneliness crept in sharper than before. One rainy Tuesday, he showed up at my door, soaked and determined. "We need to talk," he said. I let him in, and over lukewarm coffee, he laid it bare. "I love you, Jordan, but I can't be your secret anymore." The word love hit like a wave, reciprocated, terrifying. "I love you too," I admitted, pulling him close. For the first time, we kissed, a moment of pure connection amid the storm. But as he left, promising patience, doubt returned. Was this worth the risk? Family ties pulled tighter. Mom called, excited about a church friend's daughter. "She's perfect for you, Jordy. Blind date this weekend." I agreed, hating myself. The date was a disaster. Polite chit-chat with Emily, a nice girl who deserved better than my half-hearted attention. As we parted, she said, "You seem distant." I nodded, escaping to call Brian. "I can't do this double life," I confessed. He urged therapy, coming out step by step. I started seeing a counselor, unpacking years of repression. Sessions revealed the toll. Anxiety, insomnia, a gnawing emptiness. "Your family's love shouldn't be conditional," the therapist said. But was it? The conflict escalated at work. A major client, a religious organization, complained about rumors regarding my lifestyle. My boss demoted me from the account, a subtle punishment. Furious, I confronted him. "This is discrimination," he shrugged. "Business is business." That night, Brian held me as I vented. "Fight it or leave," he said. I chose to fight, filing an HR complaint. The investigation dragged on, tension mounting. Meanwhile, Mike noticed my stress during a brotherly beer night. "What's eating you, man?" he asked. I almost told him about Brian, the hiding, but chickened out. "Work stuff," I lied. His concern felt genuine, making the deception worse. As summer hit, Brian planned a weekend getaway to Michigan's dunes, our first real trip. Excitement warred with paranoia. What if someone saw us? We went anyway, hiking trails, sharing sunsets. In a quiet cabin, we talked futures. Moving in together, building a life. "But only if you're ready to be open," he added. I promised I was. Back home, momentum carried me. I told a close friend, Sarah, my ex-fiancée, now platonic. Her support surprised me. "I'm happy for you, Jordan. You deserve this." Boyd, I planned to come out to my family. The opportunity arose at a family barbecue. Dad grilled steaks, Mom fussed over salads, Mike's kids ran around. After eating, I gathered them. I have something to say. I started, voice shaking. I'm gay. Shock rippled through. Mom gasped, tears welling. Dad's face hardened. What? No, you're not. Mike stared, silent. Explanations tumbled out, how long I'd known. Meeting Brian. Dad exploded. This is a choice. The devil's work. He stormed inside. Mom followed, sobbing. Mike pulled me aside. Bro, why now? This will kill them. Hurt. I left, driving back to Chicago in tears. Brian comforted me that night, but the wound festered. Rejection hit hard. Calls went unanswered. Texts were curt. Work worsened. The HR complaint backfired, leading to performance issues warnings. Brian suggested legal action, but I hesitated, exhausted. In a moment of weakness, I confided in Mike, hoping for an ally. Help me talk to them, I begged. He agreed reluctantly, but days later betrayal struck. Mike called. I told them about Brian. They needed to know the full story. Fury boiled. You what? That was mine to share. He defended. I'm protecting the family. The call ended in shouts. Brian, hearing, was devastated. Your own brother? That's low. The rift deepened. Parents demanded I seek help. Conversion therapy flyers arrived in the mail. I refused, cutting contact. Work fired me, citing restructuring. But I knew better. Jobless, I moved in with Brian temporarily, our relationship strained by my turmoil. We can rebuild, he said, but doubt crept in. Had I chosen love over family too hastily? Nights were sleepless, replaying arguments. A job search yielded interviews, but paranoia about my history loomed. Friends divided, some supported, others ghosted. Society's judgment felt everywhere. Stares on the street, online trolls after a pride post. Brian tagged me in. Amid the chaos, a glimmer. Therapy helped process the pain. Grieve the family you thought you had, the counselor advised. I wrote letters to parents, pouring out hurt and love. No response. Mike reached out once, apologetic but firm. Give them time. Time? I'd waited my whole life. Brian's patience wore thin. I get it's hard, but I'm not your therapist. Arguments flared about my withdrawal, his pushiness. One night it peaked. Maybe we need space, I snapped. He left, slamming the door. Alone, I realized the cost, pushing away the one constant. Reconciliation attempts faltered. I emailed Dad, explaining my truth wasn't a choice. His reply, come home, we'll fix this. Fix? The word stung. Mom's voicemail pleaded, pray about it, son. Prayer wouldn't change me. Mike mediated a call, but it devolved into accusations. You're tearing us apart, Dad said. No, your hate is, I retorted. Hang up. The silence stretched weeks, amplifying isolation. Jobless savings dwindled. I took freelance gigs, but instability gnawed. Brian and I reconciled after a heartfelt talk. I won't abandon you, he promised. We attended support groups, LGBTQ plus folks sharing similar stories. Hearing others' triumphs inspired, but also highlighted my losses. A new job offer came, graphic design firm, ironically through Brian's connections. Accepting felt like a fresh start, but imposter syndrome hit. What if they find out about the firing? I worried. Brian reassured. They hired you for you. Family drama resurfaced. Mom showed up unannounced at our apartment. Tears flowed. I miss my boy. We talked for hours, her fears of hell, my pain of hiding. I love you no matter what, she whispered, hugging me. Progress? Dad refused to join, but it cracked the door. Mike, however, distanced himself, citing his kids' confusion. Betrayal lingered. Our bond fractured. As fall approached, tensions peaked at a cousin's wedding. Invited reluctantly, I brought Brian as my plus one. A bold move. Whispers abounded. Dad ignored us. During toasts, Mike pulled me aside. This is embarrassing the family. Anger flared. My existence embarrasses you? We argued heatedly, drawing stares. Brian intervened, calming me. Leaving early, I vented. Why fight for people who don't want me? He held my hand. Because family matters, but so do you. The incident sparked backlash. Dad disinvited me from holidays. Mom wavered, calling secretly. Work thrived, but personal toll mounted, depression episodes, therapy intensifying. Brian suggested couples counseling. We're in this together. Sessions revealed my resentment bleeding into us. I feel like second place to your family, he admitted. Guilt hit. I'd neglected him amid the chaos. A moral crossroads emerged. An old friend offered a job back in the suburbs, high pay, but in Dad's circle. Accepting meant proximity, potential mending, but also regression. Decline meant staying true but financial strain. I agonized, discussing with Brian. Choose us, he urged. I declined, committing to our life. But the decision cost. Parents cut financial ties completely, including inheritance hints. Betrayal deepened when Mike leaked my coming out to extended family. Gossip spread. Aunts unfriended me online. Hurt turned to rage. I confronted him. Why sabotage me? He confessed jealousy, my freedom versus his trapped marriage. I envy you, bro. Twisted logic, but it humanized him. Forgiveness? Not yet. Through winter, awakening dawned. Pride events with Brian built community. I volunteered at LGBTQ plus youth centers paying forward support. Family thawed slightly. Mom visited more. Dad sent a stiff birthday card. But scars remained. Brian proposed moving forward. Let's plan our future, not dwell. We discussed marriage, adoption, dreams once impossible. Yet doubt persisted. Had my choices been right? The price. Lost job, fractured family, emotional wreckage. But gains. Authenticity, love, purpose. As spring bloomed, a family crisis tested everything. Dad had a heart attack, stress, doctors said. Rushing to the hospital, guilt overwhelmed. Was I the cause? Sirens wailed in my mind as I sped to the hospital. Brian beside me gripping the wheel. It'll be okay, he said, but fear choked me. Arriving, Mom embraced me tearfully. He's stable, but it was close. Mike nodded curtly. In the waiting room, tension simmered. Dad awoke, weak but alert. Seeing me, his eyes softened briefly. Jordan, he murmured. We talked haltingly about regrets. I don't understand, but I don't want to lose you, he admitted. A breakthrough? Or delirium? Recovery brought uneasy truce. Family therapy suggested by Mom. Dad resisted at first, but attended one session. Revelations poured. His own repressed youth, societal pressures. I was taught to hate what I feared, he confessed. Tears flowed. Forgiveness tentative. Mike apologized privately. I was wrong to out you. Mending began, slow and painful. But old wounds reopened. At a session, Dad slipped. If you just tried. Anger surged. I walked out. Brian waited outside. Proud of you for standing up. Our bond strengthened, but strain showed. His family, fully accepting, highlighted mine's flaws. Sometimes I wish you'd cut them off, he said. Moral dilemma. Blood versus chosen family? Professionally, I excelled at the new job leading projects. But a promotion required relocation to New York. Opportunity versus uprooting. Brian excited. Fresh start. I hesitated, tied to Chicago's mending ties. Decision weighed. Advance career, support us, or stay for family. I chose New York, a leap of faith. Packing, emotions mixed, excitement, grief. Farewells hurt. Mom cried. Visit often. Dad shook my hand stiffly. Be safe. Mike hugged awkwardly. Sorry for everything. Driving east, Brian and I dreamed aloud, wedding plans, city adventures. But en route, a call. Dad relapsed, minor but scary. Guilt resurfaced. Had leaving stressed him? Brian reassured. You can't live for them. Settling in Brooklyn, life bloomed. Diverse community, open acceptance. We married quietly, City Hall, close friends. Joy overwhelmed, but absence stung. No family attended. Mom sent a card, Dad nothing. Mike's text, congrats bro. Bittersweet. Post-honeymoon challenges arose. Brian's career stalled. Resentment built. You dragged me here, he snapped once. Arguments escalated about money, in-laws, priorities. Therapy helped, but cracks widened. One night, he confessed, I feel like I'm paying for your past. Hurt, I reflected. My decisions rippled, affecting him. Societal pressures persisted. A hate crime in the news triggered anxiety. We joined protests, advocating change. But personal toll, isolation from roots. Holidays alone, traditions lost. Mom visited once, warming to Brian. He's good for you, she said. Dad called sporadically, progress inching. A pivotal betrayal. Mike divorced, citing midlife crisis. He came out as bi, shocking. I get it now, he admitted over coffee in NYC. Hypocrisy raged. You judged me. Tears, explanations. Fear drove him. Forgiveness? Complicated, but understanding grew. As years passed, no, wait, this story accelerates. Wait, backtrack. In the first year in New York, awakening deepened. I wrote a blog anonymously about my journey. Thousands related, sparking debates. But when it went viral, identity leaked. Family backlash renewed. Dad disowned publicly via email. Devastated, I questioned everything. Was authenticity worth this pain? Brian stood firm. Yes, because look at us. But doubt festered. A job offer back in Chicago tempted, higher pay, family proximity. Accepting meant regression. Decline meant commitment. I declined, choosing us. But the price, Brian's growing dissatisfaction. The New York grind wore on. Brian landed a big client, but long hours strained us. We're drifting, I said one evening over takeout. He agreed, suggesting a break. Panic hit. No, we fight for this. Counseling intensified. We recommitted, planning a real wedding celebration. Invites went out, including family. Mom RSVP'd yes. Dad no. Mike maybe. The event approached amid nerves. Then tragedy. Mom's accident, car crash, non-fatal but serious. Rushing back, hospital reunions tense. Dad blamed stress. Your lifestyle. Argument erupted. I left in tears. Brian followed. Don't let him win. Back in New York, wedding postponed. Healing took months. Mom recovered, visiting us. I want to be there for you, she said. Dad softened via letters. Apologies. Regrets. Family therapy resumed virtually. Breakthroughs. Acknowledging pain on both sides. Mike came clean about his own struggles, supporting openly. Rescheduled wedding. Small, intimate. Mom walked me down the aisle. Dad attended virtually. A step. Vows exchanged. Tears of joy. But post-ceremony, Mike pulled me aside. I'm happy for you, but Dad's still struggling. Reality check. Full acceptance elusive. Life stabilized. Careers flourished. We adopted a dog, symbolizing family. But societal echoes. A bill threatening LGBTQ plus rights sparked activism. We marched, voices united. Personal growth. I mentored closeted youth, sharing scars. Yet, mending incomplete. A holiday invite home. First in years. We went cautious. Dinner civil, talks deep. Dad admitted. I was wrong. Hug shared. Mike's new partner, male, joined. Irony thick. Laughter mixed with tears. But betrayal's shadow. An old email surfaced. Dad donating to anti-gay groups post coming out. Confronted, he defended. Old habits. Trust shattered anew. How can I forgive? I asked Brian. Forgiveness is for you, not him. Decisions loomed. Cut ties again? Or persist? I chose persistence, boundaries firm. The cost? Ongoing therapy, vigilance. Awakening culminated in a book deal. My story, raw and real. Writing cathartic, but exposure risky. Published, reviews mixed. Praise for honesty, hate from trolls. Family read it. Dad called, proud in my way. Ambiguous but progress. As the story arcs reflect, choices defined us. Love won, but at what price? Family evolved, society slowly. But scars permanent. Years blended. Our life in New York solidified. Brian and I celebrated anniversaries with quiet dinners, toasting resilience. Work brought fulfillment. I rose to partner. Brian opened his studio. We fostered a teen from a similar background, guiding him through coming out. Satisfaction deep, but echoes of loss lingered. Family visits increased. Dad, retired, mellowed, gardening together, sharing stories. I missed so much, he said once. Mom baked for us, doting on our dog. Mike remarried, his husband fitting seamlessly. Holidays full, laughter genuine. But undercurrents, occasional slips, like Dad's offhand comments. We addressed them, boundaries holding. Societal battles raged. A Supreme Court ruling affirmed rights, we celebrated. But backlash, hate crimes rose. We donated, volunteered, voices amplified. My book inspired a podcast. Interviews delved into ethics. Was hiding moral? Coming out selfish? Debates fueled growth. Personal crossroads. Brian wanted kids. Adoption process grueling, background checks unearthed old family rifts. Approved, we welcomed a son, Ethan. Parenthood transformed. Sleepless nights, boundless love. Family met him. Dad held him tearfully. My grandson. Full circle? But challenges persisted. Ethan's school faced anti-LGBTQ plus policies. We fought, winning changes. The toll, stress, but purpose. Reflecting, decisions, prices clear. Lost years, emotional baggage. But gains. Authenticity, family evolution, societal impact. Brian and I, stronger, debated often. Was it worth it? Always yes. One evening, watching Ethan play, peace settled. The laundromat moment where it began felt distant yet pivotal. From folded secrets to unfolded lives. In the end, Jordan's journey raises a profound question. Was sacrificing family bonds for personal truth ultimately the right choice? Or did it cause more harm than healing?